It's a Friday on Jasiri, and you already know what that means. It's time for a Hot Topic Special. Now, the energy is up, the tea is hot, and we're diving into conversations that live at the heart of culture, connection, and everyday life. Now, today we're talking a little bit of love, a little bit of marriage, a little bit of parenting, and the wild, wild world of some digital storytelling. And we've got the perfect guest to take us there. It's a guest. You heard that. Joining us is a couple who are content creators, parents, and a duo who have turned their real-life relationship into a platform that's hilarious and deeply relatable. They're joining us to go through some of the week's most interesting conversations. So make sure you grab whatever you need to grab, settle in, and let's talk about love, life, and everything in between. There's this one story, guys. This one story. Lolo has not heard this story, and I don't know if we can get her reaction as we're talking about this story that I want to talk about. But it's okay. It's all right. But first, there was a situation that had to do with my very dear Lolo here, and she was ranting to me earlier this week. Lolo, my love, what happened? And since they said I don't speak pidgin, waiting happened.
Oh, wow. Story. So to how do we pronounce that? Is that guess? Guess.
Not guess.
Can we go ahead? I was thinking, you know, when I went to Warri last week and I had to come back to Lagos. When the plane landed, of course, leave Nigerian Airlines and they are pushing back your flight without I shall go to the airport. Every of those hailing cabs I got. Now I don't know if I have to find a way to remove my name because they will address me. No, we know saying and you. Hey, they'll not. Maybe the hailing cab had already put one amount and I've already agreed to it. They will now say, but not be the money where you put, now we go collect. To the point that I did like 6 of that inside the airport, then I moved outside that maybe I should try. Once they see me, 20,000. I go so tired, I called another one. He said, they look you now. Lolo, why you don't want to make we share out of your blessing? Maybe we chop your money. That one did. Then another one came. As if to, I thought that finally I'd gotten one that would carry my bag into the kidney. It's as I said, Lolo. But as he was holding my bag, say, but say no be the money where they help you go pay. And I'm wondering that, okay, if you put a certain amount in the hailing cab, that means you've already agreed to it. But what I see many of them doing, because even aside this airport, I have seen many do it. They'll get to you and they'll say, sorry, that we can't collect
take the price
that is on the... So, is that not fraudulent?
So, the thing you said to me then was that, is that Tinubu? Is that the president?
Exactly.
Or those are politicians? No, that's everyday Nigerians wanting to take advantage of each other. I told you we went somewhere. Okay, we went somewhere with a friend recently, and we're in the mall walking. People are just shouting, Adaku, Lolo. They don't care what she's doing. Then she'll say hi, and I told her you have mastered the art of walking, not stopping. Even as she's going, Adaku, we're talking to you. Man. The anonymity I have, the ability to walk through crowds and not be seen.
You're a Jasiri girl. There's nothing like anonymity in your life.
I don't envy you. Honestly. That lack of. I don't talk. You're about to get there. I think it's a lack of respect for your person.
Yeah. If we talk about a lack of respect, that's being minimal. A lot of them do not even know that you don't want to be handed, and that's something that really irks me. As in, when you want to touch someone, especially someone you're not close to, you should ask, please, can I hug you? But they will just put their arms around you and pull you to themselves. Yesterday, a woman at the wedding saw me. She actually did like this to my makeup. I had to move and say, ma. Because if she thought she should have broken my makeup, and I would have looked funny.
And that's so about looking funny. Some of them actually do not care about you.
They don't care about you.
Yes, that's what they did to Bobrisky, I think, not too long ago. I saw a video yesterday of Priscilla. Yabo's daughter. I think she was on a call and she was frantic about something. She was just not in a good mood. And someone in the background was like, oh, she's so nice and coming close to her. It's like they were trying to gaslight her into, okay, fine, if you like, don't greet us well. Yeah. It's just...
No, I'm used to that. When they see you at eateries, they'll start recording you. I say, excuse me. You should have my permission before you take my video or record me. What is it? And they are still recording. So that they get to say that, oh, she's so nasty. I will say to our camera, I don't care if you're a disrespectful person, but I do not want to take a picture with you. So whatever you want to do about it, do.
Yeah, I remember Justin Bieber many years ago. He had to get to a point where it's like, he doesn't want to do anything with crowds because people are literally pulling at him and they feel like they own him. They feel like they own you guys because they watch your movies. They play his music.
Say that thing.
They feel like
we watch your movies. Let me even shock you.
The one
last night something happened. I took it calmly because I could feel the excitement, and that's another thing I'm beginning to wonder that maybe I'm going to take myself off hailing apps because your number is with them.
Yeah.
This one carried me 2 days ago and he saved my number. And he called me last night that his family wanted to greet me.
Oh my God.
So I had to greet enthusiastic, beautiful babies that are just shouting, Auntie, on the phone, and my wife. And I'm like, I know it didn't come from a bad place. But I felt
so you go to the next one that comes from a bad place, Nko?
I felt exposed.
Very exposed.
Because I'm like,
I don't think people understand the gravity of these things. And so that's also invasion of privacy. That's also data rights. If Lolo reports him to the company, he can be fired for that.
Exactly.
So now it's Lolo that fired him without addressing the situation of
so that means every time you take a hailing cab, if they take you home especially,
they know
that is scary.
So I don't even allow anybody drop me at home.
No, I'm going to start to do that myself. I'll just let them drop me
at home. I would rather walk. They know my area.
Yeah,
they don't know where I stay.
I have to take it safer because when it happened yesterday, I went from it, and they didn't even call early. They called like maybe 10 or like maybe to 10 because I was already in bed, and I was like, when he explained himself, and the person that carried you the last time that I said my children love you,
my mouth is just open.
I was like this.
Do you know, Lolo? Let me tell you, don't be surprised if you get another phone call from him.
Oh my brother!
And don't be surprised if you get an ask. Of course. That's what I was going to expect.
Maybe I would change that number.
But you don't have to.
They will start that way. Because now that you took the call, because I didn't know what to do, because immediately said that number, the baby started to say hi. I'm sure it was maybe on their speakerphone, and the entire family was going, ooh, and they were young children.
I don't think people will say that number unless it might sound bad, but that's what it's going to have to do. Because you need to protect yourself. People don't understand how ridiculous this is. I mean, celebrities are going through this and they know how dangerous it is. I saw a video some time ago and people came for me in the comment section. They said, although she's Ghanaian, she was dressed beautiful. She's a very beautiful lady, dressed up to go to church, and the cab that took her was gushing over her beauty, was telling her how beautiful she was, and then he now drove past where his friends were and was showing her to his friends, and she was blushing. And in the comments, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't think this
wrong.
Is funny. And people were like, if you're hot, don't project your heart. I saw the comments. I was like, how messed up are we? Do you know how dangerous this is? Oh my God!
Do you know you could even tell them that me and her we just got together. I was just showing her.
Imagine driving her somewhere, winding down the glasses so that his friends can see her.
You don't even know how dangerous.
So now that when I tell you that I like to drive, I like to be in control, I like my privacy in the car. I get it. You people are giving me more reasons.
I've had a terrible experience in Dubai. I told you many years ago, the first time I saw an Arab do something really inappropriate, it was the one that was my tour guy. It wasn't my tour guy.
Tour driver.
He's the one that was my tour driver. So he bought a Hummer. So I was so happy that I took it. So when we're coming back from the tour, you know why he was taking me? He kept saying, how he likes African women, how we were great, how they were so wonderful. I thought that was just gushing an Arab guy. Maybe he had experiences with when he now came to take me back. And you know it was night coming back from the tour. Tolu, I was traumatized. I kept looking at that that map. He kept going round in circle. He was driving me towards an uncompleted there's a lot of construction, but it's dark place. He now parked. He now told me how I'm getting him so high, how he's really into me, how he's aroused. If I told you that he did his business in front of me, will you believe it?
Oh my God.
I told you know when you are calling the Holy Ghost from your throat, like, God, if you just
get me out of this,
because I didn't know where I was. I didn't want to antagonize him when he did his business and did what he claimed. I said, please, can you take me to my hotel? He even had the audacity to say if he will come and pick me the next day. When I got out of the car, if you saw the way I ran for my dear life,
And so, when we talk about these things, whether you're having these experiences in Nigeria and Dubai, the US, a lot of men can't understand entering a cab and having to double check certain things.
Yes.
Having to consistently be sharing your ride with somebody. Having to have this heightened sense of awareness. Because you're like, at any moment, anything can happen. You hold your bag tight. You're on the phone with somebody, you're letting people know we just passed here. You want to be sure that it does the door open again from inside.
Do you know how many cars? Do you know how much I do that? The door not broken. I don't know why. Or some that you will try to open their door and the door is not opening. I was so angry at myself that I did not notice because
you did not check.
At the time I used to be very observant of that, but it was when I got to the office, the guy was like, let me come and open it. Like, what was I thinking that I entered this car? And it's a rule in my house, if anybody is going anywhere, you must share your ride with me so that you know where you are going. Not even these days where, look at this one now, it dropped me at home. So that means, Allah Majeri, call our family because this is where she lives. Let's come and greet her.
Do you know how many people he has already told that he met Lolo?
That he met me in his cab.
And do you know how many cab drivers have actually saved your number? It's because they've not called. It's because they've not called. If we continue on this conversation, we'll end. But I like the fact that we've been able to expand. It's actually things that we need to talk about a bit more. There's a sense of entitlement, and we have an entitlement story later on, but we need to take a break.
All right, so we've got some good discussions to get into, but that comes up after the break. So let's take this time out so we can bring on our content creator couple, CCC, and get into why Nigerian youth are upset with Senator Ireti Kingibe, why Nigerians feel so entitled, and a story that asks, is this exploitation or friendship? So stick around, more talk, more fun, and conversation on the other side.
I'm not the lover girl on this table, but I'm going to love today because I just love to see couples work it out and thrive together. Now, we recently met this couple and we knew we just had to have them join us for one of our Hot Topics Special Fridays, and they made it here today. Our guests today are the dynamic couple behind Mr. and Mrs. AG, sharing relatable family relationship and lifestyle content. They draw from their lives as parents of two. One is a digital marketing expert while the other is a travel consultant. They've even co-authored a book together. So wondering who they are? Let's find out. Roll montage.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by two content creators making waves with their creativity and commentary. Titilope and Ademola Adebusoye. Welcome to
Super excited. So we have a lot of good stuff to get through and such little time as it happens, and we're very, very grateful that you guys were able to join us today. But before we quickly get into the stories, how did you guys end up as content creators? There's digital marketing here, there's real estate, as well as, what was the other one? As well as a travel consultant. So how did that link and end up as content creation?
So, we didn't like the narrative about marriages that is going on online.
We talked about that on this table,
So we felt like, people who are having good marriages should come out there and, talk to us about their relationship and how they're managing things. This 50-50 thing that people are talking about, is it really 50-50 or is it, two people understanding each other? So we'd say, let's give more light to these things and then share what happens with ourselves, using our lives as examples. And then as time goes on, we now begin to talk to other couples who are having good marriages and then let them come and tell us what their experiences are. So that is how we, just went into content creation. That is the only way we could reach more people.
Okay. Another point is that we realize that social media tends to push fake marriages to us, like marriages that are not working. We see it online all the time. And we realize that we have some marriages that are actually working, but it's not on our faces. So that was why I joined it, because they started the content creation.
I wanted to ask who started. And then he dragged. How many years you married?
5 years. We'll be 6 in November.
I'm telling you,
Revelation.
We're approaching 1 year now.
11.
No, Corday is 10. 13.
Wow. You should come and tell us how it's working, how you're making it work.
Is it working? It's working. You know, some days you like him. Some days you don't like him. It's working. Some days you like her. Some days you like him.
The Balogos have to start creating content. What would be like?
You and who? I don't
I'm curious. I want to know, does this ever happen to you where you're asking yourself, who sent me this work? Like, do I really know about marriage? Because I saw someone say that once you're married, the next day after honeymoon, you're like, so let me tell you. You said everything. So do you ever feel like that? Like, you don't know as much to be telling people that are older and, you know, in the marriage, what to do, how to do it.
Yes, I feel that way every time. A lot of people come to our DMs. My wife runs away from the DMs. She just runs away. She doesn't want to attend to this. And I'm like, when I see those issues, I'm like, am I sure that I can handle this? But one thing that helps me is that I have mentors. We have mentors that pastors in churches that we, you know, recommend some of these cases. So when they come and say, this is something beyond my control, and then I tell you, you know, I'll meet my pastor or meet my mentor at so place, and then, you know, we sort it out.
I think that's something we don't talk about. We talk about mentors for our professional lives and in some personal capacity, but do we ever actually really talk about mentors for relationships and marriages? It's a whole nother conversation.
Okay, let's go. Because this story, I don't know how my CD wants to do it. I need to see reactions, especially Lolo's reaction to this story, because I heard it from her. Okay, so this story makes me say the line from one of Omawumi's songs, which is "A heavy from mouth." An 18-year-old apprentice in Anambra State has reportedly impregnated 10 girls. Lolo. 10 girls within a 5-month period, including his master's daughter and a sales girl. See, I did it from them. I didn't Let's go. The Anambra State Commissioner for Women and Social Welfare, Ife Obinabo, has disclosed this incident during a live video broadcast. Now, she expressed her astonishment and sought public advice, stating that the situation was beyond her capacity. The apprentice was initially sent to learn a trade, but was dismissed after impregnating his master's daughter and the sales girl within 3 months. Subsequently, he impregnated 8 other girls in his village. Wow. The apprentice reportedly told the commissioner that he loves all the girls he impregnated and wishes to marry them all. His mother, who reported the case, expressed concern over the frequent visits of the girls to their home. The commissioner questioned whether the situation might have a spiritual dimension, facing the face, a spiritual dimension, and called for public input on how to address the matter, because at this point, it has passed everybody.
God,
Content creator.
See, how is he able?
Is a firer.
But you know, that's the one thing that science has said. We have focused birth control on women, and a woman can only have a child in 9 months. But a man who impregnates that same woman, can go on and impregnate other women in the same month. Birth control should be focused on men and boys. Balthazar Jr. But that was not impressive. This is a boy.
Musical talent, sort of. Does he have some musical talent, sort of?
For us to
do what?
Maybe he's towing the line of, you know, some of his mentors.
At a go. Those ones give it at something different time.
His mother came forward and said, I can't do this.
But do you know, this just one thing I would say, Tolu will always say this thing. You know when she used to say that, didn't you understand
sexual and reproductive health education.
A lot of people think when you say sexual and reproductive health education for young children, they think it's about teaching them sex or how to have sex. A lot of these children do not even know that they have the capacity to do this when this starts happening to them. You know, for a lot of them, they happen on sex. And it's like, wow! It's like a kid in a candy store.
Forbidden fruits.
It's like a kid in a candy store. So everything is like, wow! So if I do it with this person, it will be sweet again. So if I do it with this person, it will be sweet again. But a lot of people do not know that. When I talk to my children, especially my uni people, I tell them sex is great, but it comes with these responsibilities. You can be pregnant, you can catch diseases, it might dysfunctionally, it might affect you mentally and make you not to focus. This, that. Aside to one, you have to be looking for ways to do it that will never be that will never be easy. It's not like when it comes to an adult that you can't do it within your own confines. But that, so when they weigh out the options, now my son will say, "Mommy, I don't think I want trouble."
There's this thing I've always clamored for. I usually ask on social media, on our stories, that at what age is it appropriate to teach children sexual education? And a lot of people are saying, you know, when they are 10, when they are 12. I'm like,
Late.
it's too late to teach these children sexual education when they are at that age. So recently, we also have been trying to, you know, train our children with them sexual education. And we have a book that we saw by Pastor Laya about teaching children age-appropriate teaching for children from 3 upwards. So each age has a method that you are going to use to teach them. For example, our son, we tell him, no one touches this part, this part, this part. This is your private part. If anyone touches you here, tell us. So he knows. We could wake him up when he's about to sleep. Sometimes we ask him to show us your private part, and then he touches it, and then
He identifies.
so he identify where people shouldn't touch on his body. Our daughter is 1 year old. She doesn't know, but when she's able to speak, we're going to now tell her this are things you shouldn't allow anyone touch you.
So my question is, but is that a guarantee though that it will instill morals? Because now they know better, you know, now they've been educated, they know, but it doesn't stop them from wanting to experiment.
So I don't think necessarily it's about instilling morals. Morals typically come from the religious education of you wait until you're married, you're a virgin until marriage on both sides, not just girls. I think it's about just simply preparing them. Because when you talk about this moral, not all quote-unquote moral people are good people. But there are a lot of people who don't subscribe to religion that are good people. And there are even sometimes better people than the people who are religious. So I don't want us to conflate it with morals.
I even want to say that for me, I want us to separate it. Because in this age, I think abstinence should be left for religious bodies. Responsible education is what you should be teaching this generation.
So that's my question. Even if they know, does that stop them from?
No, but if they know better, they will work on them.
You probably will work on them.
They will not sleep around. It will mean that they will know that they need to start getting tested. You prepare them to be able to make decisions. Look at this young boy. She's just been shaking her head.
And just letting them know the responsibility that comes with it to reshaping their mindset. Because most of them just feel like, okay, this thing is sweet. Oh, I enjoy it. When you enjoyed it, do you know what comes with it? Exactly, that comes with it. By the time they get to know, that's why your son rather said, oh, I'm not ready for this wahala. Because they understand that this is the responsibility that comes with this enjoyment.
Yes, so when I tell him how much they're selling the apple, I say, how far away are these grandma?
You know what we should do? Whenever we have friends who have kids, when they start around that 13, auntie, go and spend 2 days with my auntie. Go and see what they go through. They will need to know you. Let me tell you, when I was growing up, there were schools in the U.S. that used to give you, sometimes it was an egg, but there were schools that had these babies. But the babies will cry, the babies will take it home, the babies will cry, the babies will poop, you'd have to change
nurture the baby and see
part of the curriculum. And for some schools, particularly in areas that had high levels of early pregnancy, when they did this program, it went down.
I didn't know it was because I saw it was like a school project. That little girl, like maybe 10, they gave her mother back. She was tired. She said, I want to sleep. She wanted to stop crying.
We need to start exposing them to the responsibility that comes with childbearing.
Let's take a break. We have reactions. We're not done with this program today. Let's take a break. We have reactions. And then really, what is the solution? The mother and the state are saying, please help us with solutions. Stay with us. Thank you so much for staying with us. So we're taking a look at the story coming from Anambra State, where it's reported that an 18-year-old, I guess I would say former apprentice, because he was kicked out of his apprenticeship, actually impregnated 10 girls. He's 18. We don't even know the age of the girls. 1 or 2 might be his age mates. It's likely that 1 or 2. A lot of them are younger, probably 14, 15, 16. But let's take reactions and let's see what solutions we might offer to what is. An 18-year-old apprentice was taken advantage of by 10 girls and his master's daughter. Innocent young boy destroyed. What a cruel word. The boy said he's in love and he wants to marry all of them. Father Abraham, Sex
Did you see the sarcasm in that thing?
Sex has so much been promoted everywhere to young folks that they forget to tell them that it also has consequences. Something fun can also be life-altering. I think it's on us, the elderly youth, to start telling all these young folks about the consequences of sex. Sexual education. What else do we have? Is there a law against this? This is where morality sets in. What if it was consensual and they're around the same age? This is on society. This shows a failure in the family system. If the girls were well groomed by their parents, they won't fall prey for an 18-year-old. The parents of the boy also failed in their duty as parents to guide and direct the boy. Parents, this is a wake-up call for you all. Do more. For those blaming the boy, the girls didn't know what they were doing before opening their lapse rights. If underage, what is the role of the parents in the girls' lives? Both the boy and the parent should be arrested. The parent for negligence and the boy for the crime.
Is enjoyment
What
crime?
a useless way to start adult life. 18 years old and he didn't have anything better to do with his time. I guess he is officially fired from his job now. I hope none of those girls are underage.
I think they are.
The
The boy is simply obeying God's instruction to go to the world and multiply. Brotherhood is proud of him. Brotherhood should come and buy diapers. One guy of 18 years impregnated 10 girls within a period of 5 months. This is a disaster. Government should pay careful attention to youth social development. As it is in today's Nigeria, young boys and girls are investing more in their efforts on sexual relationships, and most of them are actually using it to assert their masculinity because there's nothing else in the society that's capable of attracting their fleeting attention. Okay, this is the last one. Disgusting. If underage, arrest him and throw him in jail. We need to be tough on crime. So this is one of the very rare situations I'm going to ask. If he's 18 and they're underage and we throw him in jail, what does it serve? You still supposedly have 10 girls who are pregnant by this same boy. My solution is at the end of the day, he has to go back to not that apprenticeship. His master will probably want to shoot him on sight. But he has to go back. He has to learn a skill. He has to learn a skill. And the state needs to monitor him in learning his skill. Yes, possibly helping him set up, and he needs to be responsible. But before he even becomes responsible to be able to do anything, it's going to be like the next 3 or 4 years.
4 years, so it's not. And I do agree that the mother was negligent. Because how did you notice all those girls coming into your house and you did nothing? And didn't say anything about it?
And a lot of please.
Yeah, I'm not going to say put the blame on the parents alone. And there was a time during when we were growing up, it was community parenting. If I step out of my father's house when I was 18, even when I was 20, 22, my neighbors would tell my father that Ademola went out to, or if the lady comes to visit me, my dad is going to know somehow. So what were the community people doing?
So you don't blame them. Parenting styles have evolved. If you see a young girl wearing close to something, a skirt that is close to panties today, you are even scared to tell her this thing is short, because the next thing you see her mother coming from you. What's your business? Is he your child? You get so it's like everybody. I don't think that community parenting is as encouraged as it used to be, because now you don't know what the mother will say. What the girl would even say to you, and when you want to report that to her mother, you collect another glass goes. So I don't blame them entirely.
So I think it should be intentional at this point.
Let me add, before you, so I might just complicate things. The commissioner revealed that she had asked the boy directly how he managed to convince so many girls. Please, you people should ask me what his answer was.
Please, what was his answer?
I need to. What was his answer? I always tell them that I love them and would like to marry them when I acquire wealth.
When? So
it's promise of
future wealth that is not assured.
So we talked about his mother. Now we have to talk about the parents of the girls. What?
Poverty.
Not just poverty. They're looking for love.
No, but to look at don't say
they're
that.
looking to
A lot of girls that will fall within this case. I wish we could even do like an interview for these girls. One, they come from disadvantaged families. A lot of women that are susceptible to some of these things. A little care and attention draws any girl's attention. Especially if it is lacking somewhere. If you see a child that was well brought up in a loving home, love is known to them. Or like when love is told to them by a stranger.
It's earned also.
It's earned. Oh, maybe this guy, if you buy, maybe a girl that has never eaten meat pie, because I have Linda Afana, may I buy you drink.
Even as small as chocolate biscuits.
So what did you say? Sorry, Titilope.
I say even as small as chocolate biscuits.
Yes, chocolate biscuit, 10 naira, and the guy will say, "Oh, come." And of course, they are in experimental stage. And I keep saying that a lot of things are wrong with our society. Access to pornography is another big thing. I told my children, some boys in my son's school, that sexually stimulating yourself all the time puts you at a disadvantage because you are stimulated and you see the opposite sex. You might react advertly, you might react wrongly because you want to and you are not supposed to. I say that's where rape comes.
Yeah.
Because if you don't link these things for them, they don't know the impact of what he does. This boy probably watches all these little things, and every time he sees any girl coming around, and if 100 naira can actually get a girl, or let's even say now maybe
1,000.
one drink is like 500. So let's say 1,000 naira gets each of these girls to lay with him. For some girls that have never drank maybe soda in like a year, don't you know that soda will be like wow to them?
So there's that, but let's not forget there's also the bandwagon. It will shock you how people do things because their friends are doing it.
Yes.
They might know that their friends are sleeping with this guy. They know it's not right, but because they know they're not the only ones, and then they just go ahead. We see it on social media. Those videos you were lamenting about the other time about girls, you know, showing their Do you get? I don't think it's because they were lacking.
Do you know, since that day, I have only been to TikTok once. I would just post something and I would leave because I am traumatized.
What I did was, I looked at the profile, the guy's handle, and I went to block him straight up. I don't want to see it.
He's traumatizing for me.
I don't even see it.
No, it was traumatizing. But if you see those girls that did all that, you will look at their background. Of course, I can tell. If I'm a profiler, I know where these children or these girls are from. We need to educate. I know we are doing a lot, but we still need to do a lot of community engagement. Because the elite in the city know how far. They know everything not to do, how not to do it, even to do it and to get away with it. But these grassroots girls are still naive in many ways. To them, they see it as fun. Do you know, sometimes people always forget that social media is not one person. So when they are bearing their bodies, to them they are showing it to a guy,
to someone.
They don't know that there are millions or thousands of people watching, screen recording. In that moment, it's fleeting. So they don't think well.
I'm surprised that TikTok hasn't taken that account down.
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
Because one of the things I've mailed Facebook several times asking them that, you need to put PG on, give influencers or give creators the right to put PG stuff on to rate their content, such that if I rate a content 18 plus, I rate the content 21 plus.
If you want to
if you set your age on
so it makes you wonder also why they're not.
Why are they not doing it?
Let's leave it at that. We need to move on.
But I think Instagram is doing that because our page on Instagram, if you are not up to 18, you can't see our content.
I've changed it to 21.
What are you people doing? But anyway,
IG?
Yes. There's a section on IG.
Where that? I want to find out more about that. Okay, so before we get into the next story, I have a question for our guests, right? So on the show, we've taken the girl-to-girl and the G-to-G tweets, that's guy-to-guy, that asks men and women when they knew they could not marry the person they were seeing. So I'm going to flip that now, and I'll ask Titilope, when did you know that you wanted to marry him? What was that thing you did or said or that moment that you knew that if he asked you to marry him, you would?
Oh, okay. I've never thought of this anyway, but now that you asked, I would say his mindset. Because while we were cutting, he has been talking to me about relationship for over 3 months, and I'm like, I like guys that are tall. So that alone is like, okay, go. You taller than her. I like guys that are tall. I'm like, okay, no. Until we started talking, and 3 months down the line, I realized that he's intentional. The way he communicates and he's intentional, and he's a very focused man. He knows what he wants.
And he wanted you.
So
now that flips the question. When did you know that aside from wanting her, you wanted to marry her?
Okay, so I didn't know I was going to marry her from the first time I met her. So it was at the point, so I was doing this remote work where I write articles for ghostwriting and stuff, and I was on a deadline, my laptop spoiled and I didn't have enough funds to purchase a new laptop immediately. I just told it to her in passing, and the next thing I saw was alert in my account. I was like, hold on, I don't see women like this. I don't see women like this.
You take my money.
She gave my money.
I'm just
You two were
a supporting sister. No. I'm just a supporting sister. Then I'm just a supporting sister.
Sister. Like, I want to make sure the brethren.
The relationship was a committed one. I had told her that, this thing is going to lead to marriage. This is what I wanted. But it was at that point that I knew, like,
This is my wife.
No doubt about it. Even then, my parents, when I told my parents that, okay, this person I want to marry, she's an Ijebu woman.
She's from Ijebu.
And my parents said, no, it's not going to happen. Ijebu and our tribe, we don't usually do that. I said, you know what? I made my decision. You people will join me in the decision making. But me, I've decided. So those things, some of those things that she did, and it was not just because of the money. There were a lot of things that she also did. For example, I invited her to my house several times. She didn't come. I would cook. And she would not show up. So it just meant that, okay, this lady was disciplined.
Yeah.
And I wanted my children to be disciplined. So yeah, of course. So there were a lot of things.
Write a handbook. Buy you a laptop. When he invites you to house, they don't go.
Alright, let's take a quick break. We have one more story we're going to get to with Titilope and Ademola Adebusoye. This is Hot Topic Special, content creating powerhouse couple joining us. When we come back, we'll see if it's exploitation or friendship. What would you do? Stay with us. So we have one final story to get through, but I quickly want to ask this question. What's the one thing that marriage has taught you that premarital counseling could never have prepared you for? Titilope, start. Because they said you're soft and quiet, and he said you're not.
Okay, well, marriage has taught me that everything I own is not mine. So I have to share.
Hi.
God help me.
Even my butter, I don't share.
This one has butter. No, it's your kids. It's not my kids. It's your kids. So
You have to share.
they have to be ready to share. And that space thing is everything. That space thing, that's, you don't push toothpaste up and I come and I see toothpaste. Ademola, what?
I can be very detailed sometimes. We have issue with that toothpaste thing that you talked about because I don't like when you press it from the middle. Do it from the middle. What's wrong? No, you're changed.
Have adapted.
Okay, so hers is that marriage will teach you that you must share. So what's your own? That you will not premarital counseling, talking to people, everybody telling you don't know everything's going to be fine. They don't prepare you for.
You will have hard conversations.
You will have to have.
You would have to have.
A lot of people avoid.
You
in marriage.
cannot avoid it. Those conversations, you will have it. And if you don't have it, be ready to let the marriage go. But you need to have those conversations if you want the marriage to work. Because you will conversate every day. You will conversate every day.
And that thing he said is so key. A lot of couples these days, they flirt over issues, they skirt around it. They don't sit down and yes, they look at each other and say, this is what I think you are lazy. And you're like, hey, me.
Those words don't deal with hurt. Okay, for example, I'm going to give an example because that's what we do on social media. We like to give real life examples. We have a business together, and the business is supposed to buy fuel in our car in a month. And so me, I just look like, okay, there's no fuel in the car now. In business, pay for the fuel. So I buy 30K today, maybe tomorrow I buy 15K. So we have a budget of like 60K fueling from the company to our car. And I started buying it in bits. And my wife looked at me and said, we cannot continue doing this. If it let the money come out once, because we are charges, bank charges is going up. We are killing the company with these charges. And in my head I was like,
But it's just fuel.
It's just fuel. How much is it? I mean, we own the business together, but that doesn't. We had the conversation again yesterday. She said it 2 days ago, but we had the conversation again yesterday night. We left the house and went to, like a bar sort of, and we had that conversation. And then I understood like, okay, yeah, you're actually right. But if you don't have those conversations, some men, I know men who like, Don't talk to me like that. Who are you?
You're not going to share no one on land on Bami soro control me titi. Oh, you don't care to your
And one thing. Let me drop this advice. When you're in the middle of an argument, never call your partner by name.
It's true.
If you do it,
If it happens, they know that wahala
So we went somewhere last night. We went to a friend's 50th birthday anniversary and they asked the husband to do like 7 pet names. My husband, jejely, he's the one who opened his mouth. He said, he has 20 pet names for me.
Where are they?
All I ever hear is babe. Then I hear Tolu, I'm like,
what's going on?
He doesn't know. He comes with the pet names in his head.
To be honest, this thing about difficult conversations, we're talking about yesterday. I fear for this new generation because we avoid any little thing, mental health. And then there's also, I think this has been a long-standing argument about how couples settle issues with sex. You just go into the bedroom and you think that you want to sometimes it's like you're trying to euphemize instead of you saying this is salty. You say, are you friends with Lot's wife? It doesn't.
I'll share one thing that someone told me one time. Because the bedroom is sacred, it's your sanctuary, and neither one of you should have to feel somehow in the bedroom. Take a lot of these arguments outside of the bedroom. Go out to a bar. And sometimes being in public will help you to control your emotions.
That's why I like
go to dinner, go for a stroll, have those conversations, but sort of remove it from the bedroom so that your bedroom doesn't carry like the weight of whatever is going on. Let's go to this last story. I'm enjoying this. All right, so we want you guys to judge this situation. Media personality Bemi OO shared a story that's raising questions about they say morality and friendship, but I say exploitation and friendship.
I read that story.
So here's the scenario. You are a caterer. Things have been rough and your friend knows this. You've been confiding in her about how tough business has been. She listens, she empathizes, and then some good news. She brings you a catering gig. Her office is throwing a party and they need food. She tells you the budget is 1 million naira. You're grateful, you do the job, you manage the cost and everything. After all of that, you walk away with 100,000 naira profit. Not a jackpot, but it helps. Plot twist. A few days later, you find out that the actual office budget was 2 million naira. Your friend didn't tell you. She kept the other 1 million to herself. Now, here's the question. Did she help you or did she exploit you? Titilope, I'm going to start with you.
This is one of the few stories where we have different opinions.
I love it. Titilope, what do you think?
Okay. Well, to me,
See your man.
I already know where she stands.
well, to me, let's leave the fact that they are friends out of it. It is business. If she can't do the job with the 1 million naira, she would have said, no, I can't do it. And looking at
the friend knew she was desperate.
No, that's what I said. Looking at it from the business angle, it's a business. Business is business. I give you a contract of 1 million naira, you can do it and you accepted it. But looking at it from the friendship aspect of it, you know your friend needs help. And the fact that you know that all she have left from that gig is just 100,000 naira. And she's not that do the cooking, the catering and everything. All you do is just give her the contract and you're going away with 1 million. If I have that person, I would have offered, because I realized that it's just 100K that you have. So I was able to talk to the company and here is another 500K. Just to say thank you. If I have the word, that's what I would have done. But I did not accept the whole 1 million naira.
It's such a long time I've seen call somebody's brother.
Full tantrum.
Is the friendship over?
It's over. So it's over. It means that you don't have my best interest at heart. And I'm not going to have your best interest at heart too. I could go as far as sending a mail to the company. Yeah, I could go as far as that.
You're a teddy auntie.
I've been talking to you that I have issues, I have financial issues, and then you claim to help me, but you're exploiting me. That is pure exploitation. Because I took the job out of, half bread is better than chin chin, right? Not knowing that there's actually a whole factory, a whole bread factory somewhere. So, I mean, the friendship is over, it's wicked, and
as long as they were friends, the friend from the company had a moral responsibility to do better towards her friend.
To even open up, let her know from the beginning that, oh, this contract is 2 million naira,
Yes,
but I'm going to give X, Y, Z amount.
Yeah.
Is it okay with you? Have that conversation.
And another thing is that they are friends. That's what the tweet says. But are they truly friends?
So you
can be friendly somebody.
You can be a friend to someone and the other person is not your
I
friend.
feel like even outsiders would have done better. Okay, they're offering this. I will take 500, give you an extra 500. That's good. I've been in this like exact, not the same amount, but the exact same situation. And I don't think that we're looking at it critically because it's beyond friendship. If the company one day calls and says, defend this 1 million naira, how did you spend it? Because it's looking like we didn't get as much value
as we paid.
And so they're asking you to defend what you spent and you're defending 1 million. And they said, no, we paid 2 million. So it will look like you joint, it's a joint effort. You and the friend defrauded the company. Because at the end of the day, the guy that did the same thing to me, the company reached out to me and they were like, the way the woman was chatting with me it seemed like she suspected me of something. Eventually, they reached out to me for another event and found out that was not what I charged. The guy exploited me. So I didn't do anything because it was more like a mentor, but I know this not just from a friendship perspective, it will affect your own brand and your personality.
Absolutely. Lolo, you have 30 seconds, we gotta go.
No, well, everybody has said a little bit of everything. If you truly had a friendship, at least morally, you should just be straight. If he's your friend and you want to do a favor, this is how much this work is going to cost and this is how much I'm willing to give you. Is that okay? But to now exploit her in this way, there's no way they can tell me that friendship will remain the same. I will always hold this silently against you.
And I think I agree with that, Ademola. I think that's the end of that friendship. And possibly I was your friend, but you were never.
So I won't give you an empty job.
It's you that knows that one. Say a very, very big thank you to Titilope and Ademola Adebusoye for being our guest today. Thank you. And we're going to bring you back because I love the way they talk about marriage and relationship. And I think we also need to be part of sharing a different narrative. As always, we hope today's conversation sparked something new. To wrap it up, maybe, please, wear protection. STIs, sexually transmitted diseases, and pregnancy are real. Please also don't forget, the weekend is a chance to rest, reflect, and refuel. So take care of yourselves, and we'll see you guys on Monday at 10 a.m. West African time. Bye.